Oh yeah, recording.
Yeah, that's it. So we're recording. Okay. And so I'll do a wee introduction, Sandra, and then I'll start with the first question, which will be, tell me a wee bit about yourself and about your family.
Okay.
So welcome to a conversation between myself and Sandra, and we're thinking today around remembrance. But first of all, Sandra, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and about your family?
Yes. I was brought up in Forfar. I went to school in Forfar. I did my schooling there. And I knew my husband at that time, Stan, because he was at the same school as me when I went to the academy. But as I say, nothing happened there because he went to the Air Force at age 15 and did an engineering apprenticeship. So I didn't get back with him until about he was 18. So then we got married, I think it was 2 years later. And we have 2 sons and 4 grandchildren. And one son lives in Forres and one lives in East Kilbride.
Oh, fantastic. I didn't realise that you and Stan had known each other for that length of time. That's wonderful. So you mentioned that Stan went into the RAF. What do you want to tell us a wee bit about your connection as a family with the armed forces? Because I know that's not just Stan's connection. It goes.
No, yes, I know. Well, we did a bit of moving around, obviously. I must mention that this house that we're in now is our 15th house. But it was our 15th house dating from 1963 when we got married to 1991 when we got in here. So therefore that was our 15th house that year. So it's been pretty hectic. But anyway, as I say, we got married, went out to Germany, came back to in-laws, and it was a lot of moving because after we got back to in-laws, Stan was given an unaccompanied tour in Bahrain, and that was for 13 months. So he was away for that 13 months where the boys and I stayed in Dunkeld in Records Quarter, as they called them, and it was got a Scottish horse, which is Dunkeld. It was one of the commanding officers' houses because, you know, and then one house on the other side of me would have been the second in command. The other side would have been the Batman.
Yeah.
So we lived there for that 13 months and then we moved again and again. I could go through it all. It's too long. But also, we also had a tour in Malta, a 3-year tour in Malta. And it was a very good tour, to be honest. The boys learned to swim and they loved the schooling there. And that was very good there. But it was a good social life there.
Yeah.
Because the boys were older then and things were a bit easier for us. So basically, we've just done so many tours, and Stan has done a lot of 3-month detachments along the time as well. So we were on our own quite a lot, the family. But that's how it works with a forces wife, really. You just get on with it.
And how was it for you? So, because I'm right in saying that one of your sons, am I right in saying, has served?
Yes, one of the sons, Colin, he did 2 tours of Afghanistan while he was in. He's out of the Air Force now, but they were very worrying times for ourselves and also for his wife and the 2 girls because, you know, it's very hard to be left with young children because you don't have a lot of backup, you know. But you're not near family, you see, you don't. But no, we were quite worried then, and that was an upsetting time for me. I used to go to the Remembrance at the church, and I felt very sad when we were outside. You know, it just comes back to you. But he's home and he's fine.
So what would you say? So you mentioned Remembrance there. For you now, as you would go to Remembrance, and we're looking forward towards Remembrance now, what does Remembrance mean for you as a family?
Well, it means a lot to Stan and I. I mean, we're aware, obviously, of the 2 world wars where many men were, and boys were killed, and that to give us our freedom. And then I suppose I didn't go to church very often when we were first married and getting posted around. I never lost my faith. It was just, it was never right for me to go. But when we came back here and settled at West Hill, that's when I came back to the church. So I knew I always would, but it was just the way it worked. But yeah, it's, and if your husband is away and nobody can look after your younger children, you just don't do things, you know. It sounds like a miserable life, but it wasn't that miserable.
No, but it has its challenges.
It does.
Yeah. But part of the Poppy Scotland appeal is always getting us to think not only about those who have sacrificed their lives in the past, but actually those who are making a sacrifice today, and thinking about those serving today. And I wonder, is there anything that you would say to maybe families where they've got members of the families that are serving at the moment?
Mm-hmm. Well, what I would say I find, I've just learned from friends that we've kept up with, if their family, one of their family married an Air Force chap, you see, and she just couldn't understand why he was going away. And of course, the marriage split up, but that's just a scenario. There was lots of things like that went on. They just couldn't, they didn't enjoy the fact that he kept going away. I didn't either, but again, you just get on with it, Stella. You don't think too much of it.
Yeah, but I guess it's a recognition of the pressure and the strain that families are under, and that actually when we think about our armed forces, it's not just the individuals that are serving that are affected. Actually there's a whole range of people behind everybody, whether that's parents, whether it's partners, whether it's children, there's a whole lot of people to bear in mind around that. But thank you very much, Sandra, for sharing a little bit of your story with us today, and we pray for God's blessing on all of your family.
Thank you very much, Stella. Thank you.